Another question, so let's now move a little further up north to look at the Aztecs. And the question here, as I was talking about in the first part of this Q&A, was the presence of the dog, specifically the Xoloitzcuintli, the Mexican hairless dog, which was iconic with the mythology of the passage into the underworld. Most people would undergo this 4-year descent from the surface of the earth, from their burial spot, and deeper into these successive layers, all the way down to the 9th level, which was East Mictlan. Here is the land of the dead. Through a series of trials. And the first trial was Apanowayan, where the water is crossed. And this was really the only place where the dog featured. A dog would be buried with a commoner so that the dog would help paddle and lead the human across the river. This kind of like a river Styx, except you didn't ride it on a boat. You crossed it with the dog to help you. But that's just the first level, and that's about all the dog did. So the dog's presence there was just a one and done deal. There really isn't any other mention of the dog after this passage. So that's about as far as the dog went into with you into the land of the dead. And this was for most people because in the Aztec and other Mesoamerican mythologies, what part of the afterlife you went to, what realm of the afterlife, whether you went to the heavens or a watery paradise called Tlalocan, or Mictlan, which was the dark recesses in the bowels of the underworld. And bowel in a very literal sense, because the passage could be likened to a closed sphincter, as like, say, the aperture of this black, forbidding pit. And most people went there because where you went up in your afterlife didn't really depend on how you lived your life, but the way you died. And that was usually foreordained by the gods themselves. So if Tlaloc really liked you, like you were respectful to animals that lived in water, or you were respectful to the environment. So like for some reason, Tlaloc really liked you, he would give you a watery death, like say getting struck by lightning or drowning. And that would lead you to Tlalocan. But most commoners, like a natural death, would go to Mictlan. Death by sacrifice or death in childbirth were seen as battles over life. And those spirits would rise to the heavens and help carry the sun across the sky. So coming back to this question about the dog, that's the extent of how far the dog went in the underworld. But this does open up a much larger understanding of what the underworld and the afterlife was like in the different kind of like the geographies of the afterlife regions, and especially the Mexica and other Aztec mythological terms.